It was a rough start to the year in Hartford, a federal investigation looming over the state capitol. In February, it was revealed a federal subpoena existed looking into a former top budget official's actions overseeing school construction projects. The FBI digging into Costa Diamantis and his handling of hundreds of millions of dollars in state contracts. At the same time, the governor's office released a report which questioned the integrity of the chief state's attorney, Richard Colangelo, and his hiring of Mr. Diamantis' daughter. Governor Lamont at the time vowing to root out any possible corruption, saying if he could, he'd fire Colangelo.
I've got to do everything I can to keep people believing in the public trust. And this was, I think, an abuse of the public trust.
Colangelo resigned. Diamantis maintained his innocence and claimed that report found no wrongdoing. Days later, a bit of normalcy at the state capitol. Leaders kicking off the 2022 legislative session with Governor Lamont giving his State of the State address in person, unlike the year before, acknowledging a big change in the state's finances, a historic surplus and a full rainy day fund.
Today we're deciding what taxes to cut.
The governor also dropping the school mask mandate, throwing the decision on whether to mask up back down to town and city leaders. In the short session, lawmakers worked on tackling children's mental health, juvenile crime, and a bipartisan effort to give consumers relief at the pump.
So I'm signing the gas tax bill.
Putting through a gas tax holiday, 25 cents a gallon off to help with the skyrocketing cost of fuel.
People are feeling the pinch of a 40-year high in inflation.
Lawmakers also passed a budget with hundreds of millions of dollars in tax cuts, which included an extension of the gas tax holiday. And while Democrats touted the package of cuts, Republicans said they didn't go far enough.
When we hear about the child tax credit, it's a one-time check that's going to homes.
Lawmakers also strengthened Connecticut's abortion laws as the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Lawmakers protecting medical providers and patients who traveled to Connecticut for abortion care. Also expanding abortion access by increasing the type of practitioners eligible to perform the procedure.
Access to abortion grants us freedom.
One of the biggest political stories of the year, a COVID funding scandal descending on the town of West Haven. State Representative and city employee Michael DeMassa eventually pleading guilty to stealing more than $1 million in federal COVID-19 relief funds meant for the city.
There were no checks and balances. How could something happen like this with that amount of money?
The scandal sparked anger in West Haven, many pointing their concerns at city leaders for a lack of safeguards, some demanding West Haven Mayor Nancy Rossi resign. The mayor, though, denied any involvement in what transpired.
Mayor, I have to ask for your resignation to really give this city what it needs. We have to begin healing.
That is not happening. I am not giving the resignation now, today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. I took this position because I wanted to make a difference.
2022 rounded out with the midterm elections, and they were big here in Connecticut. A U.S. Senate seat, all of Connecticut's congressional positions, the governor's office, the state's constitutional offices, and the entire state legislature on the ballot across the state. Democrats once again coming out on top. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal beating out Leora Levy, a Republican backed by former President Donald Trump. All 5 of Connecticut's current congressional delegation were voted back in, and Governor Ned Lamont once again beating Republican Bob Stefanowski in a rematch. Both chambers of the state legislature also remaining in Democratic control. Jen Bernstein, Fox 61 News.